KJ Simpson player scouting report. This was one of the best guards in the country, production-wise, eye test-wise, everything. On a Colorado team with a couple guys that people are projecting to be selected in the first round, Tristan Da Silva and Cody Williams. You may be thinking, why wasn't Colorado one of the best teams in all of college basketball? I don't know. That's a great question. KJ Simpson was arguably their best player, though. I will stand by that until the day that I die. On our big board, we have KJ Simpson, 46th overall. I had him 49th. You had him 53rd. Carter had him 42nd, which is what boosted him up a little bit. But we all believe that KJ Simpson should be taken in the second round of this draft. Let's get to our categories. What's one word to describe KJ Simpson?
Electric. And where I ranked him on our big board, I probably will move him up a little bit after doing a deeper dive on some of his film. But stuff the stat sheet, average over 19 points a game, right at 5 assists, close to 6 boards. Really, really good rebounder for his size. If you look at his pull up shooting numbers, they're really, really efficient, really high level stuff. Good as a shooting off the catch as well, which I like because he can play off ball, burn you that way. That should help him stick on a team. Also, just really fast and exciting to watch. Hence why I put electric.
Yeah, I said juice. He has the juice. That's what I felt like anytime I watched him. I made the argument many times throughout the season that like KJ Simpson would be the best player on the floor, even in a game against Arizona, even in a game against like Isaiah Collier in USC. I felt like this guy was often the best player in pretty much any game he played in college. And the numbers back it up, I think. I mean, the kid averaged 19.7 points, 5.8 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 1.6 steals. He was efficient. He shot 43% from three, 88% from the free throw line. Like, you would be hard pressed to find a better guard. You just didn't hear about it because it was Colorado in the Pac-12 and they didn't win a bunch of games. If you would have done this at a bigger name program on the East Coast, we'd be talking about it constantly. And it's hard to know because a lot of these great college basketball players don't translate to great NBA point guards, but he's got a chance. And I think the fact that he's being mocked in the second round, I think, is a little low for what he could be if he hits his ceiling. Speaking of ceiling, is he likely to hit his floor or his ceiling?
I said floor, which pains me, but it's really hard to project these smaller guards, and floor feels like the safer bet.
I went floor
Because
as well. You got to be special if you're a 6'2" point guard for me to believe that it's going to work in the NBA. KJ Simpson is not a guy I think NBA teams will want to like build around and give him the ball and see what he's made of. And usually that's really hard to stick around unless you can show you can really lead a second unit. So just by default, even if we believe in him, it's more likely I think he's going to hit his floor given the archetype that he is. What's the best team fit for KJ Simpson?
best team fit is the Grizzlies. I would like to see him go to a team that needs a backup point guard. And there's not a lot of that for the Grizzlies right now behind Ja Morant. They need someone who can create shots for both himself or others when Ja's not on the court. And I mean, you have some guards who are more defensive minded with like a Marcus Smart, for example, to cover up maybe some of the deficiencies or ameliorate some of the concerns that because teams will probably try to pick on Simpson whenever he's on the court too.
Riley, I love you. You just suggested having Ja Morant as a mentor would be the best case thing for KJ
That's
Simpson.
no comment.
That's a little bit scary. I went with the San Antonio Spurs. I keep coming back to this as a landing spot for teams with a point guard. I said Bub Carrington would be a great fit for them as well. To me, one, no disrespect to Tad Boyle, but disrespect to Tad Boyle. It's time KJ plays with a great coach. I would love to see him pair with one of the greatest minds in basketball history, pair him with a superstar, a team that has playing time open at the one spot. I think we would at least see what he's made of in the first couple of years if he landed in San Antonio. The best year of his career, what do the peak year stats look like for KJ?
I bet he's going to give you a year where he averages 9 points, 4 assists, shoots high 30s from three.
Okay, so this is the first and only cop out I've done for this category, the entire project of all 75 players we're doing. I'm not putting any numbers for this. I don't know what they'll be in the NBA. I don't know. I think he will be the EuroLeague MVP one day. That is my belief. I think this is a guy who like he could spend a decade trying to get a two-way, fighting in college or fighting in the G League versus getting a call up, playing for 2 weeks here and there. The reality is most teams are not going to prioritize him or give him opportunities at the NBA level, even if he does warrant it early. He's going to have to spend time in the G League. And I think people will very quickly realize, franchises overseas will very quickly realize This is a guy who could go dominate European basketball and be one of the most productive guys for 10, 15 years. I am genuinely, I want this on record for 5 years from now. KJ Simpson will win EuroLeague MVP.
Hey, I won't push back on you on that. I like that. Still a bold prediction. It's not a
Yeah.
total cop out.
In 5 years, where is KJ Simpson? He could be all NBA, all-star, starter, bench, G League, overseas, or podcaster. I just told you where he is. He's overseas for me, and he's one of the best players in overseas basketball.
I'm saying it's G League. He sort of strikes me as like maybe spend a year or two in the G coming out of college. Then he has maybe 2 years where he sticks with the team. Then he's fighting it out in the G League again after that.
I could see it for sure. Okay, most likely to. What is KJ Simpson, out of all players in this draft class, the most likely player to do?
Have a scoring eruption in a what are they play-in game?
Yeah.
10 seed Spurs 2 years from now. KJ Simpson out of nowhere, if he lands on the team that you say is the best fit, little 35-point win over the 9 team.
Yeah. It's
Then
like
they
a
get
crazy bench
blasted.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, then they get blasted by the 8 seed and miss the playoffs.
I could 100% see it. I went most likely to drop the acronym. His name is Kenneth Simpson Jr. I think at some point he could go by Kenneth. He could go by Ken. He could go by Kenny. I'll go on record that it's Kenny. Kenny Simpson Jr. feels nice and smooth to me.
That I'm a fan of Kenny.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.